Hello, ladies and gents. Romie Reviews here. Please like, comment, subscribe. This is my review for Grownish, Season 2, Episode 4. It's only going to be for a couple of minutes, as you can see. Now, let's talk about Zoey. I understand she is only, I think, a sophomore at this point, and she's very insecure, which, again, all of this is normal. All of this is normal. All of this actually makes sense for what's going on with her. The problem this time around is she still has issues with Jazz. At first, how the episode started, I thought that they were going to do one of those, basic things, pretending like, oh, that was just a moment and they were cool now. But it's supposed to have been 2 weeks. And in these past 2 weeks, Zoey has another issue. Her issue is she is having trouble with fashion and trying to get her piece together for this project, and of course her boyfriend is he's always at the forefront of that. It just comes naturally to him. For her, she constantly has to work. At some point, I think Nomi goes and even comments on how, Luca, it's just natural to him. He's like a genius. Because one of the things about this episode was, are we calling people geniuses too quickly? Are we calling them geniuses for the wrong reasons? Are the people that we're calling geniuses, come on, focus, are they really geniuses, or is this just a new age word that we throw out and it doesn't hold as much weight as it should? I can't answer that here because it's all pretty subjective. And like they were talking about, but it was funny how they were I'm looking at them and I know that they're actors and whatnot, but some of them are musicians, so to see them talk about other musicians, it was just funny to me. Like how I think at one point Aaron had the audacity to go and say that, okay, a lot of people wouldn't consider Beyonce a genius because she collaborates a lot, and they more so would call her one of the best entertainers, period, versus a genius, which is fine. It's your opinion. I, as a huge Beyonce fan, will go and say, I understand that a lot more of the stuff that we've seen is her creation than her just merely doing a copy and paste, like the industry has been saying she's been doing for years now. Even though now we know a lot of people, that's what they are actually doing, and we just didn't know / didn't care. But aside from that, so I loved when Chloe and Jazz, and I don't remember the other name. I remember Jazz's name because, Lord, how they defended Beyonce, and all the women defended Beyonce, but the board was interesting. There was this board, and because there was this new artist that no one knew who they were, so they were going and trying to figure out who it was. On the board, I think almost all the names were women, or at least in the top 10 were women, and I'm sorry, were men. We're men, and only a few women, and that was part of the big argument. Why is it that most of the geniuses on this list, normally talked about, normally praised to a certain extent for that, are men? But Zoey wasn't saying that really to be, pro-women and pro-feminist. She was saying it to be pro-self, as we've seen other celebrities try and do that mess as well, even if they have a valid general point. Zoey's jealous because, like I said, her boyfriend's called a genius, and she wasn't. Zoey has to do some soul searching, but I don't like how Jazz kind of went and tried to give Zoey a teachable moment and tried to downplay the fact that she's upset about Zoey going and behind her back regarding her whole boyfriend thing, instead of just hitting her up saying, oh, I see Doug here. That's the biggest thing for me. Jazz, you don't like how your friend moves most of the time. And this is for a lot of people. A lot of people have actual issues with their friends, but as long as there's no major conflict, they're not going to say anything. Jazz has always felt this way about Zoey, and we're just finding out about it now. That's what's really going on, and that's the only reason why I can't go at Zoey too hard, because I feel like, Jazz, you're mad at Zoey. You're mad at, I get it, she makes everything about her. It's her, it's her world. And Zoey, when she talks to Lucas, she acknowledges that her father propped her up. She was the best, where in school and she was always the top, and then she came to college and she was just average. She was just average. That's what happens to a lot of people when they step out their own world where they're coddled and loved, if they have that, because a lot of people don't have that. But if you have that and people are always propping you up, it is a slap in the face when you go and you realize you're not the best athlete, or you're not the best this or best that. Jazz feels like Zoey, if she loves fashion so much, then she would be acting differently. And Jazz was actually right, at least for that point. Zoey realizes fashion, it was just like a general passion, but it really wasn't what she loved and wanted to do for the rest of her life. Her father kind of focused on that, so I guess she kind of fell into that. But I thought that was an interesting realization. So that was it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Come back next week. Remember, I'm doing a new channel, Romie Reviews.